So there will be a tolls rally coming up next Saturday. This is one that should sway every moderate legislator to vote no. You can't win, okay? The loopy Democrats are certain to lose because either they lose face on a no vote or it goes through. And we have a poorly implemented rip-off plan. That's what Governor Lamont and these legislative, quote, allies are headed for. They're not long-run allies, by the way, okay? Governor Lamont has a fiscal sensibility to him. He's done a nice job in reining in the bond spending. He wants to keep us from spending excessively, but he is tied right now to the worst elements of the legislature, those who just want money. They like the power that comes with it. They like the ability to reward their friends. And here is Governor Lamont's way out. Please listen. Governor, it is so contorted how certain groups are going to get nice big contracts if the tolling goes through. You have an easy way out. You can say, on behalf of consumers, I don't want to have an unfair largesse rewarded on a few contractors. There's no good system in place right now. That's how Connecticut got into such bad fiscal straits, in part. You can be a really good guy for our pocketbooks. Now, want to be a great guy? How about, for the first time, paying attention to the best way out of the crisis? Cut spending! Okay? Listen to those people who, frankly, they don't make the argument as forcefully as they should. The way out, the way we can be funding necessary things, and I do believe that transportation is a necessary thing that the government should spend on. You end welfare. You've heard this before from me. You end welfare. Welfare is giving dollars undeservedly to people who do not produce what you're giving them. And the biggest element of welfare is actually employed people, employed by state government, with medium salaries but very high benefits. Benefits that no private earners match. You cut that. You make an announcement that Connecticut is not going to be a corporate welfare or a government welfare state. You will have businesses flocking here. You will be voted in for 12 more years. This is such an easy call if you jettison the far left that just want, well, they want lots of things and none of them good. The other type of welfare, the one that is harder to cut, is to personal services, people who really have had a hard time making it in their daily lives. But when you cut that from government, it doesn't get cut out from the recipients. That's because private people step up. Okay? We are a very charitable group, Connecticut. We have wealth to be able to spend quite well on people who are right now incapable. We don't want to spend it when the government's doing it anyway and it's doing such a bad job. We don't want to spend it on people who just don't want to work. If that can end, people who do want to work and are underemployed, they're going to get covered. Okay, private people like me, we want to help those who really are working towards a better life. We don't want government money going to unnecessary things, welfare cheats, and the in-between. They're not cheaters. They're the people who've just been growing up in a system where grandma and their parents have basically been on the dole, don't stress a work ethic, and they themselves are somewhat crippled by not wanting to go out and venture like so many of the rest of us do. You become a social hero along with a fiscal hero when you just adhere to 2 words: end welfare. As for the transportation itself, yes, I do think this is a necessary component of state government. It doesn't mean you need a separate area to gain the revenue. That's what a general fund is for. And wise legislators, use general fund money properly. So it is not a nice argument that some of the far left are making. Oh, with every pothole you go over, it means you should be funding to get rid of it. Okay? That is, I forget the name for it. It's a long word. It's pandering. And it's playing to the emotional element. No, we don't like unsmooth rides. But it doesn't mean you have to have a brand new taxation system costing a lot of money at the outset with people who are going to get unfairly rewarded in the contracts. By the way, and I'll close here, the best way to keep transportation costs in line is to use more private mechanisms for getting projects done. Reward based on how well and how quickly you do the job, not how many people you put on it, how many hours they spend. That's a prescription for lollygagging, and you see it every day when you pass a transportation crew on the government's employ. 2 out of 8 are actually doing stuff. 6 of them are hanging around. Okay, some are on their cell phones, some are just watching, some are just gabbing. Ostensibly, it looks bad, but even down below the surface, it is bad when you have private contractors who will step up and say, I can do that project for 1/3 of the cost. Listen, allow the rules to be able to do that, and then we don't have a huge construction spend in the first place. All right, my 2 cents. I hope it carries the day. Thank you.